Welcome back to the Real Arsenal Deal podcast. Rav here, as always, your host. I am recording this just a couple of minutes after Arsenal have thrown it away against Wolves. Ends up 2-2. More drop points from winning positions yet again. We did the same thing against Brentford last week. You can compartmentalize that because they're an excellent team and it's a tough place to go. And maybe in hindsight, 1 point is not such a bad thing in isolation in that match. What was necessary, though, was for Arsenal to respond in kind, and go out there and maximize points. And Wolves, historically, this is with all due respect to them, by the way, of course, I don't want to come across derogatory. Wolves are a team that you have to go. If you want to win the Premier League title, which Arsenal absolutely do, although a lot of people will be questioning that now after this performance, you have to go there and win. You have to go there and take 3 points, move on. You have to go to Spurs and win this weekend and pile on the pressure at the top of the Premier League table. This was Arsenal's game in hand, and we've thrown it away. We've absolutely thrown it away. And if you're familiar with my channel, normally I'm trying to be quite upbeat and positive and measured. For the first time in a long time, I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. I'm speechless. In a way, a big part of me doesn't want to do this. I don't really want to record. I want to just head outside, go for a walk, and just forget about what the hell I just watched. That was a really concerning performance. So I'm just going to try and be raw, going to try and be honest, and just put out my thoughts, because maybe a lot of people as well out there are feeling similar. There was red flags all over that performance from Arsenal. There was alarm bells ringing. As much as I know the media and the narrative is really cranking up the pressure on Arsenal as they've done all season, I've spoken about that at length, and we've been able to do particularly well, blocking out that noise, filtering that out, focusing on our job, being professional, being mature, and going out there and answering it in the best way possible with our results. This is going to be nasty. The fallout from this is going to be nasty. Just it's probably happening right now. There's people dancing on Arsenal's grave, so to speak. The bottle word is probably being thrown out, as it quite often is. Choking, fragility, all those words are going to come out. And you know what? For the first time in a long, long time, I can't really be here and defend it. I can't dismiss that. Right off the back of that performance, that was utterly disgraceful from Arsenal. Again, look, I'm really, really sorry that I'm saying this. Normally, I try to be upbeat and positive, and a part of me doesn't really want to do this. I don't really want to be here. I'll be surprised if anyone really wants to listen either. I've got to be honest. I'm not expecting many views or downloads on this one, and I totally understand why. There's a part of me too that just wants to just slam the TV off, switch my phone off, and just forget about all this. I totally get it. So if this is the time where you need to step away as well for your own sanity, your own mental health, your own well-being, I absolutely encourage you to do that. Be mindful of what you consume. Step away if you need to. It's totally fine. You're welcome back here at any moment you deem fit. Usually I have a bit of a structure to my post-match recordings. I'll talk about selection, performances, first half, goals, tactical elements to the game, substitutions. All of that's been thrown a bit out the window here. Unfortunately, that goal from Saka is not going to get much of a spotlight, unfortunately, because it was an excellent goal. A lovely position that he found himself in. Saka in midfield again is just another string to our bow, and it's something I'm really glad Arteta did here. And we exploited well in the opening stages. Rice has picked him out beautifully. He's finished so well. And I love the little gesture he did at the end, the celebration about celebrating his new contract that was signed. Hincapié in the second half, that was an excellent finish. I mean, it was lovely again. We needed a goal because Wolves had responded so well. We hadn't killed the game off. The classic case of Arsenal, just like, what are we waiting for? Why are we playing around with our food? Like, why do we do that? Go and finish them off, kill the game off. And we didn't do it. And Hincapié stepped up, played in by Gabriel. Excellent finish. From there, though, just what has happened? It's an implosion. If anything, it's not about this time. It's not about personnel. It's not about injuries. Oh, we were overrun and we were tired because we were able to heavily rotate against Wigan a few days ago. We had players fresh. We had players who weren't even involved in that Wigan match. That they've had the extra benefit of a few days off to rest and recuperate. Well, we're going for a Premier League title, by the way. Like, where was that authority? Where was the intent from Arsenal to go out and demonstrate, hey, we're going to take this. We're taking this title with both hands, and we're going to lift it. We're going to take it into our own hands. And we're playing first. We're playing our our game in hand before City because their game hasn't been rescheduled. So you could pile on the pressure. 7 points going into this weekend as they face Newcastle. Imagine that. Imagine that spotlight. Then it's like over to them. 7 points. That's very significant. Instead, we've thrown it away. We've absolutely botched it. And yes, if you look at the table, we're still 5 points clear and even noting the game in hand and we're still ahead and all that good stuff. I understand that. But right now, who really wants to hear that? Because just a week ago, it was 6, or even briefly it was 9. And in the weeks prior to that, it could have been more. When you look at some pretty damning results about not being able to beat Forest away, who were a very poor team as well, with all due respect to them. We could have piled on that pressure more. We could have had a double figure lead in terms of points tally, but now it's just 5, and City win against Newcastle, which I would expect them to. They're playing at home, and when you give them a sniff at this time of the season, they're honing in on the Premier League title with what they're capable of, their pedigree, their manager. It's going to be 2 points. I'm almost sure of it. 2 points before we kick off against Spurs on the weekend in North London Derby. And if anyone wants to rain in our parade, it's then if imagine the opportunity, they'd be licking their lips. New manager bounce, 12 days off they'd had, and for Arsenal to come, in a difficult period. I think we've only won 2 of our last 7 Premier League matches, dropped points in many, many games lately. I believe it's 10 points from the last 21. If there was ever opportunity to rain on our parade, they're gonna try and take it with both hands. It's whichever way you want to look at this, it's a poor result. I can't defend this. I can't defend that performance. I'm really, really left scratching my head as to what just happened and what do we do next. The way we have managed that second half, this is going to be dissected a lot, and there's going to be a lot of soul searching at Arsenal. Going to be hard questions asked of each other. It was just a really, really lackluster, poor performance. Now, I know it was raining. I know it was very heavy conditions and passing was a bit sloppy. I totally get that. There's 2 teams, though, on the pitch. How are Arsenal misplacing so many straightforward passes? The first touch of a number of players who are usually so clean was very, very clunky. This substitute appearance from Leandro Trossard as well really irked me. I don't want to single anyone out. This is not the channel for that. I'm not going to pile on individuals. So collectively, we were so poor across the board. With Trossard, though, coming on, it was a very strange 15, 20 minutes from him. Gave the ball away a number of times, just simple passes going astray. Very odd, the amount of time and delay that he took. I know we're trying to milk the clock down with his head injury. Sure, to take the opportunity to ice the game as if you can. I understand that. That's gamesmanship. It was a strange seeing that from him, because then when the ball did come to him, we had the chance to play a pass, he would just miss, and the ball would end up, it would just turn the ball over. Timber did it as well late on in the game with a pretty straightforward pass coming down from the right. Maybe that was a tired pass again, but he didn't play against Wigan either. So I'm just struggling to explain this. We're just not hitting this. We're not doing the simple things right, the basics, the non-negotiables, the standards. Where were they? We were just all over the shop. And what I worried about was happening in front of me is the longer the game goes on and you leave it open, failing to take chances and kill the game off, you give the opposition so much hope. They were always going to throw the kitchen sink at this. They always were. And we allowed that. We played into their hands. We fell for it like fools. And we deserved this. If anything, we deserved the loss. In those closing stages, the team that looked most likely to score a third goal, it wasn't Arsenal. It wasn't the team going for the Premier League title. It was the bottom place team. They're 20th versus first. They've got 9 points. I think that's a historical all-time low in the Premier League. How is this acceptable that we've dropped points against them? It's reminiscent of a few seasons ago when we imploded against Southampton. In that, maybe a similar time of year as well. That was around March, April, I think. In that first season of the title run, actually, I'm wearing the shirt that this was that season's shirt, and that's largely been eradicated from Arsenal. That type of unprofessional, unacceptable performance, but you don't expect that now in the 2026 iteration of Arsenal. You just don't. The levels, the standards, the mentality. This was a real concern. For the first time in a long time, I've got question marks about how Arsenal are going to manage. There's still 11 games to go, noting, of course, that can go either way. A bad result for City on the weekend, and all of this is moot to an extent. But having said that, there were enough things that took place in this game for us to have some serious, serious question marks about. It was deserved from Arsenal. Like, we absolutely deserved what we got. It was coming. It was telegraphed. I could see, I'm all the way here in Melbourne, Australia, watching it on the other side of the world, and I can see what's about to happen. I can see it unfold. It was like a crystal ball happening live in real time, and we failed to act. We failed to do anything about it. We played right into their hands, and boy, did we deserve that equaliser. And if anything, we deserve to lose. Arsenal have a knack, as we know, of conceding from our first shot on target. It's just been a thing. I understand it, and that's the madness of football. Some of the goals that we concede this season, I mean, look at what it takes to defeat Arsenal. That Szoboszlai free kick against United, their late winner, like two worldies, Dorgu and Cunha. I understand it takes something particularly special against Arsenal, and it's just part and parcel of football. It was an excellent goal from Wolves. Bueno, I believe his name was. Look, take nothing away from that finish. You got to question though, how is he in so much space in that little left-hand pocket? Sure, it takes a fantastic finish from there, and it is what it is. However, you got to question how we afforded that much space. Having said that, when you look at the other end of the pitch, though, you look at the opportunities we had in the first half. We've scored on 4 or 5 minutes. What did we really do beyond that? That's where the game is won or lost, or in this case, drawn, because we didn't go for it. We didn't put our foot on the throat. Yes, we fashioned some half chances. Madueke's hit one straight at the keeper. Martinelli's the biggest one, I feel. Off that rebound where he hasn't lifted it over the keeper, he's knocked it straight into Sarr. And it's just one of those things where another quirk of the season. If that was a cup match, if that was a Champions League, it's 2-0. There's just something about the Premier League and goals drying up for him. Look at the way he finished that goal against Wigan a few days ago, coming in, played in on his left foot, and look at the chances he missed against Forest and then Brentford as well last week in the dying seconds. There's something about the Premier League, and Martinelli's just not taking those chances, unfortunately. It wasn't all about him, of course, because we did have chances. Rice found himself into space shortly after as well. We scored to make it 2-0. Great to see him take the shot. Shots from top of the box is what I want, but it's just ended up going out for a goal kick, didn't hit the target. And the second half as well, like we just had some half openings, but the final ball or too many touches, how many times did I see we played in? It's screaming out for a cutback, but we take the extra touch, or we play ourselves out of position. The opportunity is gone, the player is offside, or they get a block in and it's deflected and the ball's turned over. How many times does this need to happen before you just say, no, we're going to make the adjustment, play the pass, take the shot, and kill the game off? This is what Premier League champions do. You kill the game off. You don't wait for something to happen. You make it happen. And this was telegraphed. It was happening over 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of build-up. This was happening. It was just a matter of time. And we didn't act. And I'm just stunned. I don't really know what else to really say, aside from what I've already said before. This was just, it's an appalling result for Arsenal. It's a very unprofessional and potentially season derailing result. I don't say that lightly. It's not, and I take no pride in this either, in saying it. Really, really disturbed by that performance, that implosion from Arsenal. And in the cold light of day, yes, we'll look at the table and we'll say 5 points, game in hand, anything can still happen. This is not the Manchester City of old. We know that. They have a hectic schedule just like we do. They're fighting on 4 fronts. They're stretched just like we are. You can say all those things. You can jot all those things down on paper, and all of them are valid. I'm taking nothing away from that. Right now, though, my prevailing feeling is you don't even make it about them. You make it all about us. You don't rely upon other teams slipping up. You take it into your own hands. You say, this is my opportunity. I'm going to put both my hands on this Premier League trophy and I'm going to win it. Because anything in life worth doing, you got to earn it. You don't wait for others to fortuitously slip up so things fall into your lap. No, you go and take it. And Arsenal have failed to do that. We've had chances before and we failed to do it. You can compartmentalize them for all the reasons that we've all been through and we all know that are not going to help anyone right now going through it again. But right here, right now, going to the 20th team in the Premier League. I almost stumbled over my words because how bad a feeling this is. You go to the 20th team, the first place team, with the opportunity to pile on the pressure and go 7 points clear in the Premier League title race, and you botched it. That really, really stings. That's the prevailing narrative I've got. In the cold light of day, things might be different, but boy, 7 points versus 5 with a game in hand, this changes the dynamic completely. City have a chance. You've opened the door for them, and we know what they do. Whether they do it this season or not remains to be seen, I know. However, the narrative is all about Arsenal, and the spotlight is going to be cranked right up now. The pressure is going to be the intensity that we all feel watching the Premier League games. We have just poured fuel on the fire. We have done it to ourselves. We have imploded. We can't complain now about what's going to happen with the media and the narratives and the pundits and the talkback. We can't complain. We've got to just stand up, meet that in the eye, and go and respond against Spurs. I'm going to bring this one to a close because I feel like this is not really much value to anyone continuing this narrative. So thank you for listening. I'm not even going to bother with the usual like and subscribe and follow the show. No one wants to hear that right now. In fact, I'll be amazed if you've even listened this far. So what I will say in signing off is look after yourselves, okay? It's just football. I know it's just football at the end of the day. It's viewed as the most important of the least important things in the world. I understand that too. Just look after your well-being, look after yourselves, your family, all that important stuff in life. And we'll go again. Look, I'll chat to you all soon. I'm not going to say anything more now because I'm just going to continue to make this worse. Thank you for listening. Look after yourselves. Check in with your loved ones. Come on, Arsenal.